What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and in the last Dynasty video, we finished up our first season in a bowl game against Florida State and got destroyed, 45-0. Anything that could go wrong did. We couldn't run the ball, we couldn't throw it, our defense was just missing, and we went up against a really good team that just made us look silly, to be honest. But we ended up having a good season overall, 11-2, way better than I expected for our first year. Won the conference title. So there's a lot left to be excited about heading into the offseason, which is what we're doing today. We're going to head into the offseason. We're going to do some recruiting, do some position changes, all that fun stuff. So let's dive right into it. First thing we need to look at is our roster and who's coming back and whatnot. I do want to check out our current commitments. We got 4 all offensive players. 5-star halfback John Daniels probably will be a day 1 starter next year unless Anderson comes back. Center Roderick Easley, another 5-star kid. A little undersized, but I'm sure he'll fit in just nicely. We may be able to redshirt him. Wide receiver Chris Myrick could be a day 1 starter. We need a lot of help there. And we picked up a tight end, Tony Hamilton, one that kind of fits what we're doing, just somebody a little bit bigger who can block, that can also catch a little bit. So kind of keep those numbers in mind, because here we are. We got 55 players supposedly coming back if nobody left early or wanted to transfer out. That means we got 15 spots to fill, but there's going to be a couple of guys going in and out, and I want to over-recruit just a little bit because we got a lot of bottom feeders on our roster that we need to clean out for better players. But you see here, we desperately need some wide receivers. I got on my list, we need 3 of them. And linebackers in general, we're running a 3-4 now, so we're going to need to beef those up. On top of, we need to fix our defensive end situation, get bigger bodies there, maybe move some defensive tackles down there, or just find some heavy-duty defensive ends if possible. We'll see if we can do that. Let's go check out our roster, and we'll see who's coming and going. So as you see here, we got the 15 seniors gone. Let's go over to quarterback. We don't need anybody here. I'm assuming Keys will be back. Campbell's a senior. He's gone, but he's the only one that we're losing. We're going to have 4 guys coming back. We got a couple of freshmen that are redshirting, a sophomore and a junior. It's a good position to be in. We are fine here for the foreseeable future. Halfback, we did pick up a 5-star kid, which is great. I'm fully expecting Anderson to want to grow pro early. If he does, we're going to let him do so. But you see what's behind him, a senior, Thomas, who played a little bit this year, but it was pretty much the Anderson show. We got a sophomore and we got a freshman, but these 2 guys I just don't know if they're going to cut it. So I have on my list, I'd like to have maybe 2 more halfbacks, hopefully with some better quality. Fullback, I still think we're kind of okay here. We got all 3 of these guys should be coming back. They're all kind of similar. They can run a little bit. Hopefully they can block a little bit better too. But I think we're just fine here. Most of the time our fullbacks, they just block for us on the few formations we have them in there. Wide receiver, this is our biggest area of need on offense. We got 3 guys coming back. 3 seniors are gone. Ernie James, Terry Johnson, and Kyle White. All 3 are gone. We got 1 committed, a 4-star kid, which is good. But I got on my list, I'd like to get 3 more in here. That would be great, because what we have, this 68 overall junior, I just don't know if he's going to help us much. Monte played a little bit this season, but he's kind of small. He's not the fastest. He just doesn't look all the part, no offense to him. But hopefully we can pick up a few extra players to fit the wide receiver room. Tight end, we did pick up a commitment, but we're losing a senior, Aaron Pugh. He done a little bit this year. I mean, he started, played pretty much every single snap. I'm really excited about this kid right here. Chad Allen, a sophomore, humongous body. That's what we need, somebody who can move some dudes around, but he can actually catch the ball better than any of them on the current roster. So losing Pugh, we're replacing him with another one. I got on my list, I wouldn't mind finding 1 more, because we do run a couple of 2 tight end sets. Tackle, we're kind of okay here. All 4 of these guys should be back, including our best tackle, Chad Hale. But I would like to have at least 1 more for depth purposes, so we'll see if we can get that. Guard, we got plenty of bodies. However, 3 are gone. It's going to be Montoya, Jones, and Jefferson. None of these 3 played hardly much this year. Lowe and Brown were our starters, but we need depth behind those guys, and these 2 guys, a junior and a freshman, we just need some depth here in general. I got on my list, I'd like to get 2 more guys. So what I normally like to find here is just big, ugly dudes who can just push some dudes around. Center, we're okay here, and we picked up a 5-star center. All 3 of these guys should be back on top of the new guy coming in. So I think we're fine here for the foreseeable future. And our starter for this season was a true freshman. Well, I thought who played okay. Defensive end. So as you know, I switched defenses mid-season. We're a 3-4 team, which means we need really humongous bodies at defensive end, and we really don't have it. Stover is a starter only because of his weight and his strength. The rest of these guys are just not big enough. These guys can almost tolerate being a defensive end. But I need bigger dudes. So what's possible is in the position changes, I may just move a couple of these guys over, like some of these lighter guys, like maybe James Jones. We'll just see how recruiting goes. But for defensive end, I'd like to pick up a couple. Either they're really big natural defensive ends or smaller, faster defensive tackles that I will move over in a couple of seasons from now. You never want to move a true freshman over. His ratings will go down really hard. And in defensive tackle, we only play one at a time for the most part. We also play a lot of nickel. So we actually need a little bit of depth here. We got one guy leaving, and that is Johnny Kimbrough. He was our starter all season. I thought he done fine, but we need bigger, better dudes here. I wouldn't mind getting maybe one or two more, but again, a lot of that just kind of depends on which guys I can move over the defensive end as well. Outside linebacker, we're losing two. Jamie Williamson, our best defensive player this year. We're going to miss him. He's gone. And then we're also losing Austin Gaines. This was the kid. He was like a backup defensive end. He was the one that I forgot to move over to defensive end before it was just too late. But we still had him there. He didn't play hardly at all. But he's gone. We need a little bit of depth here. I wouldn't mind getting at least 1 to 2 guys at this position. We do got a couple of freshmen here I'm really excited about. Of course, Franklin Smith started all season, played really well. I fully expect Gary Lowe to be the starter, taking Williamson's spot. But I wouldn't mind finding at least one more for depth purposes. Middle linebacker, this is the biggest need on defense, at least in my opinion. We got 2 seniors gone. Joe King, starter, and then Jimmy Miller. Both these 2 guys were starters. And with them gone, a junior and a sophomore, we need just more bodies here, period. I've got on my list, I'd like to have 3. And middle linebackers, humongous ones especially, tend to do really well at defensive end, especially due to their strength. So we'll see. We may be able to find somebody who's like really humongous that can maybe move down there one day. We'll see. Corner, I think we're pretty good here, other than I'd like to maybe get one more. We're losing a senior, Craig Lynch, our number 1 guy. He's gone, but we got plenty of bodies, but I want another one to kind of replace him. I tend to like to have 6, since a lot of times we'll go nickel. We may be able to even go dime, depending on what our roster looks like for next year. Free safety, we're great here. We got all 4 of these guys should be back, 3 freshmen and a sophomore. It wouldn't shock me one of them wanted to leave, though, transfer out. Same with strong safety. Look at all these guys. Bunch of young pups. We got 1 junior, a bunch of freshmen and sophomore. They should all be back. I'm hoping Cowan stays. We're going to try to find some better use for him because Dargan was a starter. Our initial thought was to do 3-3-5, and I just didn't like it at all. So we'll see what happens there, but we got plenty of bodies, at least, in our 3-4. Kicker, freshman, we're good. Punter, freshman, we're good. So according to my list of my numbers, I think we're about 16 to 17 guys is what I'm looking for, which kind of fits the number requirement. I think we're ready to roll. Let's go over to play week. Let's advance to the off season. And then the next thing we're going to do is school budgets. So normally what I do here is it comes down to starters and just kind of who's coming and going. We got plenty of bodies coming back, and we only need 15 spots to fill. So I'm definitely going to go down to maybe 50 here. And I think what we're going to do, I think discipline was really good. Our number was low. We can actually go check that just to make sure. Let me go back to, is it rosters? Well, let me go look at it from here. It may not be able to. No, but it's not going to let me to. I think we got the bar still pretty low. I should have checked that a little bit earlier, which is no big deal. We're going to keep that at 20. We got plenty of points to play with this year because we got 11 wins. I think we're going to dump the other 10 right here. I still think we need to recruit. We got just some roster turnovers, our biggest need here. But I actually may go 45-35 maybe. I actually may want to split this up. I think not even half of our starters were seniors. I could be dead wrong there. I'm actually okay with this. Again, we got plenty of points to spend. And we got plenty of dudes coming back that they need some love and attention. So let's just go with an even split with that. Next up, we have people leaving early or just wanting to leave out of the gate. So my rule here, I've talked about it, is anybody that's not 100% committed to this program, I'm just going to go ahead and let him go. For example, Josh Anderson, he needs to go pro. I'm not going to fight him over that. So we're going to let him go into that. So thankfully, he's the only one that wants to leave, which I kind of expected. So let's go ahead. We thank him for his service. I've done my best turning him into a Heisman winner. It worked out well. Too bad the last game didn't work out, but that's fine. He ended up having a great season for us, to say the least. He won a few other awards to go with it. So the next thing we're going to do is heading to the next phase and actually going to do a little bit of recruiting. It is time to recruit. The first thing I want to look at is our pipelines. North Carolina's a pipeline. I want to keep that. It produces quite a bit of talent, and it's close. South Carolina's still a pipeline. I can keep it, which is fine. I'm not prioritizing too much. Georgia, I actually wouldn't mind. Alabama's been really kind to us. I want to keep it. Other than that, I may try to turn Florida into a pipeline. Otherwise, we recruit nationwide. I'm going after the best players possible because that's what Tennessee's all about. We're trying to bring in, the best players that we can to win a bunch of national titles. So the next thing we're going to do is let's go to interested prospects. Normally I like to look at state prospects first, but let's just go through. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's go to state prospects. I want to look at in-state. So here's like a 5-star guard and look at all these 4 stars. That's really good. So I actually don't need to look at this right now. I can look at all of this over in interested prospects. So it looks like we got several 5-star kids interested in us. That's good. A bunch of halfbacks. I fully expected that. Some defensive tackles. Like this kid right here could be a perfect 3-4 just because he's a little undersized. But let's go from the very beginning. Let's go to athletes. I'm real big on athletes. You just never know where you're going to find here. Let's see. I like to, again, I keep it nationwide, but I'm just looking. Texas, Arkansas, Ohio, Louisiana. So what I can do here is I normally like to scout for the majority of the first week, get that out of the way because I really need to see what we got here. Let's go ahead and just scout all of these 4-star kids minus a quarterback. I really don't need a quarterback. So these guys right here for now. Andrew Norman, 6'6", 255. I can't tell what he is. He could be a defensive end maybe with that size. Could be a linebacker. He's not the fastest in the world, so he's probably a defensive end if I had to guess. Here's a 4.33 kid, not very good hands. He looks more like a corner than anything else because his hands are so bad, or he could be a halfback. It's possible. I'm not going to put a scholarship on any of these guys yet unless one of those looks obvious. This Arkansas kid, 6'2", 244. I can't tell. He could be a linebacker, possibly, which he would look the part. And Tony Johnson, 6'8", 276. He's a lineman of some sort. We're just not really sure what. And then 6'9", 321. This kid right here, and you look at his squat's really good. That means he's got a good tackle rating. That is an ideal 3-4 guy compared to somebody like this who's just a little bit lighter. And his squat's much less too. He's just nowhere near as strong. So this Sheldon Roberts kid out of Louisiana is a must get. Like he could be a day 1, 3-4 guy. Maybe not day 1, but in the future he could be. I'm going to go ahead and put a scholarship on that kid. Just get that one out of the way. I want him badly. Out of all these, he's the one that I would want the most, but I'm going to wait till the next week and see if we want to put scholarships on somebody because we got other guys to look at. Here's a 4-star quarterback out of Tennessee. I don't need a quarterback. If he's got amazing arm, I'm going to go ahead and look at him. Like, okay, in-state kid, A+ arm. And we're running pro-style offense. That's what I need. There's no reason for me not to go after this kid, even though I really don't need him. It could be a couple years before he gets here, but just having an in-state kid like that, I think is really cool. CJ Rhodes, I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on you, brother. Let's just go ahead and get that one out of the way. We'll do program prestige first. Halfback. So this is going to be interesting. So at the beginning of this dynasty with Tennessee, I decided to go after 2 types of halfbacks, a speedster and a big brute that can really just go between the tackles. I'd like to find both still. Now, the guy that we just picked up, I wonder if I can go and look from here. Can I go out? Can I go to? I can't do it from here, can I? For some reason, I thought I could. Let's just go back into it. I was looking for the guy that we got committed. The guy that we got committed, I actually think I know where I can go. I can go to current targets. He should be down here. There he is. Yeah, John Daniels. I should have known this. So he's 6 feet 190. His squad's pretty decent, but he's a speedster. I mean, it says Tennessee is speed. So I'd like to find, since we need 2 guys, I want to find at least one more big guy and maybe another speedster or somebody who could do both. Maybe we can find somebody like that, a rare unicorn. So let's go back to interested prospects. Let's go to halfback. We can look at all 5 of these guys. Texas, Michigan, Texas, Indiana. All these guys are from all over the place. Again, I'm not too worried about where they're located per se. Can we find anybody that's really huge? All these guys are like barely under 200 pounds. all these guys. Like, here's a 6 foot, 226. Look at all these 4-star guys. Now, here's a kid out of Georgia, 6 feet, 210. Let me just scout the 5 stars first. Let me get these out of the way because we got other points to spend. Okay, let's look at all these 5 stars. I want to find somebody who's super strong. Like, the bench is strength, that's great. Squat is a break tackle. Somebody who could break a tackle is what I need between the tackles. So 665, 640, 620, 670, 640. So this 670 kid, Julius Gray, could be worth going after. He's got a bigger bench press too. He's just the strongest of the bunch. He's not the fastest, but that's okay. I wish he weighed a little bit more, but I think he'd make up for it with his strength. I'm going to go ahead and put a scholarship on that kid. And the other one, I wouldn't mind finding another speedster somewhere. So let me go back. 431. Here's a 424, 435, 435. I think what we can do is go after this 424 kid out of Texas, Pedro Daniels. Oh my gosh. Yes, let's go after him. I'm not too worried about his catch rating. We don't throw to the halfback a ton. It's not that big. I need somebody who's just fast. So let's go and just do right there for now. I would love to scout some of these other ones. Like, do we have anybody that's in one of our pipelines? I wouldn't mind trying that. Like, here's the kid out of Georgia. Let me just check him. 4.43, 6. He just looks average to me. He's nowhere near as strong as that one kid we looked at. More Texas. Here's some more 3 stars. For now, I'm just going to go after those 2, and I may scout the other ones maybe in the second week, but we got to use those points at other positions. So fullback, we don't need anybody. Texas, Ohio, again, all those guys are coming back, so I'm not too worried about getting either one of them. Wide receiver, we need help here. Unfortunately, it's just a bunch of 3 stars. Is that because we didn't throw the ball enough? I thought we were a pretty balanced offense. But let's check these out. Here's a kid out of Alabama. That's a pipeline. Let's scout him. 4.26 A+. So that's one of the biggest problems we had in the receiver room last year was we had no speed at all. This kid is super tall and super fast, kind of like the Myrick kid that's already committed. Let's go after this kid. I like what I'm seeing. And again, he's a pipeline kid. Let's just scout Illinois. Let me go here. Let's see. Do I need to scout all of these? I probably need to. We need help here badly. Let me just go and scout just to make sure I know exactly what I'm getting. Maybe there's a 4 or 5 star kid in week 2 we can try out a little bit later. Let's go through here. So 4.26, we're definitely going after him. I need somebody who can really catch. So let's look at the catch, the hands, A-. Here's an A+ kid, 4.43. He's not very tall. He's not very fast, but he can really catch the ball. And he's out of Georgia. The hands almost make up for it. Like here's a 4, like this kid's a little bit better. Ricky Fisher, 6'4", 4.33 A+. Let's go ahead and put a scholarship on that kid. Anybody else? I just want good hands. I'm going to go ahead and just go after this kid, Isaac Berry. Again, hands are everything. I can't have drop passes. Let's go after those 3. There's not a single tight end interested, but we're kind of okay there. We got like 4 bodies with the new guy coming in. Tackle, I wouldn't mind finding one guy, like somebody who's just amazing. Let me look at this kid out of Powell. That's really close to where I live. 705 on the squat. I need somebody who's just big and can really push some dudes around. Let's look at this guy. This guy's really good. 6, yeah, let's just go after one of these 2. I'm going to go after both, actually. Let's go after the kid out of Powell. So we're already only down to 100 points. I got to be careful here. We're kind of good at center, so I'm not worried about that. Defensive end, we got to find natural, humongous defensive ends. Here's a 277 kid out of Texas. Let me scout him. 570 on the squat. Look at that, 6'4", 212. How in the world can he work in my defense? Let me look here. No. He's a 570. What about this 5-star kid? He's probably doable. Let's see, 605. That's about as small as I would go, but I feel like I got to. Let's just go ahead and put one on him. And let's go after the 277 kid. If I can find him. Where's he at? Did I go too far? There he is. The kid out of Texas, at least he's got the size. And weight does matter in this game. So let's go after those 2. Defensive tackle, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Louisiana. I need somebody humongous here or who could possibly move over the defensive end. I'm going to scout these 4. Do I have any Tennessee guys? I didn't see any 3-star Tennessee guys, did I? Nope, I don't see it. It's all like an Alabama kid. Let's scout these 4. Normally, I don't put scholarships on these guys in week 1, but sometimes you just got no choice. You just got to go ahead and do it. 290, 280. At least this guy's fast, so he could be a future defensive end. 278, 482, 4. This is really funny. Normally, I never look at 40 time for a defensive tackle, but a 3-4, you kind of have to if you're going to move these guys over to defensive end. But here's a 6'4", 311. Biggest thing here is, are they strong enough? Here's 665, 665. But none of these guys can really play 3-4 nose tackle. But I need somebody who's super fast. 488 or a 482. He's a JUCO. This guy looks like a really good defensive end. Derek Moore. Let's go ahead and I'm going to leave that one as is because we only got 67 points left. Let me just go through here. Let me find anybody else that's like humongous. That 318 guy could possibly do it. The rest of these guys are just not interested. Let's move on. Outside linebacker is important. I think what we're going to do here is scout the guys that are pipeline-ish. Like here's South Carolina kid. Maryland. Here's a Georgia. Georgia's not a pipeline, but I want it to be. Florida, I want it to be. Now we're down to the 3-star. I'm going to just leave that for now. Middle linebacker, this is another area of need. I don't know. None of these guys are big enough to play defensive end, so these are going to be just natural middle linebackers. So let's go. Here's a pipeline kid. Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, 3-star. But we need help elsewhere, obviously. Kid out of Alaska, that's pretty cool. But we only got 37 points. I'm just trying to be cautious here. We may come back to this if we got extra points to put on some scholarships on some guys. Corner, we need like 1. Somebody super tall and super fast. That's kind of ideal. Really don't need a JUCO. That guy's probably too slow. Somebody who's smart. Here's a kid out of Tennessee. Looks like he's the best of the bunch. Let me just scout him just to make sure. See, 439, but he's really smart. I'm not going to put a scholarship on him, though. I wish he was faster. Man, I wish that was still a 429, but it's not. But at least he's smart. We'll come back to that. 34 points. Let me scout this guy. 4. There we go. All right. Kid out of Florida, 4'2". He's not the tallest, but he's super fast. I need speed out there in the worst way. I will probably put a scholarship on him. Just go ahead and get 4.2. That's hard to find. He could be a future special teams guy as well. This kid out of Tennessee, corner's just not the biggest need right now. I may come back and get a scholarship on him later. Free safety we don't need. Strong safety we don't need. We don't need kicker or punter. So let's go back to middle linebacker. I know that was a big area of need. Let me scout the rest of these guys. I don't care where they're from. I just got to go after the best ones possible. I can't. I'm out of points. I got 5 points to spend. So I've scattered about as much as I could. So let's use those other 5 points. Let's go to current targets. And let's just go after. It doesn't matter. We'll put those 5 points on somebody. Let me back out. Let me go. What's the biggest need? Defensive end, probably. I'm going to go 4 here. Let's see. I'm just trying to think of this quarterback. Oh my gosh. Athlete, this one. We'll go 4 there. So now we're down to 1 point. So now we got to find a Tennessee kid to put that extra point on with this tackle. There we go. So now we're down to 0 points. So we are done with week 1. Let's move on to week 2. Well, this is surprising. We picked up a commitment from 5-star halfback Pedro Daniels. This is the speedster. Really happy to have him, so I can mark that off. Now I just like to maybe get one more. I'd love to get the bigger guy that we was going after. But look at this kid. He looks like the next Joshua Anderson, but obviously faster. I mean, 4.24, that's flying. So I'm really excited about that kid. Just imagine a lot of toss plays to this kid. Really excited. Him, and then the other Daniels. We got 2 Daniels that are committed. So let's go out of here. Let's go to current targets, and you come all the way down here. We have the Daniels brothers. Both of them out of Texas, one out of Snyder, one out of Graham. No offense to the Longhorns, A&M, or anybody out there. We just picked apart your halfbacks. You're welcome. All right, let's go to the very top. I didn't see anybody that committed elsewhere. So let's go back to the top. And let's just go through here. And There we go. Positive pitch for this defensive end. I'm glad he's a natural defensive end. That way we don't have to wait here to move him around for him to get a little bit better. I'm going to do 16 on him for now. Tackle, Donnie Grigsby. I want him. We just got to figure out what he's into. I'm going to do Coach Prestige. Should be my best pitch in terms of the best, just because I've been around for so long and won plenty of titles. Let's go there. Julius Gray. This is the kid that's much stronger who would go between the tackles. We just got to figure out what he is into. I'm going to just go Coach Prestige for now. Next up, we got Matt Lewis, another tackle. We're going to do Coach Prestige there, get it out of the way. Corner, Nick Pruitt. Let's just do the same thing for all these guys. Here's the quarterback. We just don't know what he's into. Let's just get Coach Prestige out of the way. Here's the guy I want badly. Man, just be an amazing defensive tackle for us. Hopefully he can be that. We won't know until we go over the position changes. I actually need to go Coach Prestige on that one. There we go. John Stevenson, we need him in the worst way. We just got to figure out what he's into. I'll do Coach Prestige for now. Defensive end, Coach Prestige. Ricky Fisher, awesome. Positive pitch. We need you, brother. Welcome to the family if you're ready to commit. Isaac Berry out of Georgia. Again, let's just get that one out of the way. And then that is it. So I got the most popular pitches out of the way because you just never know. Go with those first until you get to the 3-star kids, and you may have to start doing some location, which we'll do that in the next week. So we've done all of this. We'll have to come back and add some points later to some other guys with the positive pitch. Let's go to interested prospects. So the next thing I want to do is it's the week 2 guys. We actually got to go to all prospects. These are the guys who got upset that we didn't recruit them, that were not in their top 5. So let's go to athlete. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and let's go find anybody that had a down arrow. Like, here's a 3-star kid out of Texas. Here's one out of Oklahoma. Let me just check here. 6'2", 214. He's probably a halfback. 6'5", 225, really slow. I'm not really excited about either one of those, so I'm going to let that one go on them. And we got some guys who were already got us in their top 5, as you see right there. I'm not too excited about any of that. I didn't see any down arrow from some bigger dudes. So let's go to quarterback. We're done here, especially if we can get the Rhodes kid. I can go check and see we're already down to the 3-star. We're good there. I'm not too worried about that. Halfback, I'm not worried about it. We got all these other 5-stars that could come here, so I'm going to skip it. Fullback, it's just not a need this year. We got other needs elsewhere, so let's just move on. So this is an area of need. Here's a kid out of Michigan, 6'1", 162, really frail. I'm going to write his name down, though. I always write down the week 2 guys. Wide receiver, Jay Grant. That way you can come back to him later. You know which one you scouted. Got any other down here? Here's a 3-star kid, 6 feet, 194. Just scout him. You never know. 8+ hands, 4.46. I'll gladly take you. Anybody that's got good hands, you're good enough for me. Looks like just an average receiver, not very fast. Here's some other 3-star kids. Kid out of Pennsylvania, JUCO. Not too worried about that one. Let me go here. Let's see. Yeah, kid out of Georgia. Let me just scout. 4.24. I mean, at the very least, he could be special teams. Let's put his name down. We just need a lot of bodies here in general. So I'd love to find 3 guys if possible. And here's another 3-star guy. Ohio kid. Blue Ash, Ohio. Good hands. That's good enough. I'm going to go put his name down. Victor James. Not the smartest, but that's okay. And we're still in the 3-star area. How many points I got? I got 168. Let me just move on. Tight end. So okay, we're going to get lucky here possibly. Adam Raymond, the top tight end in the country. He's a JUCO kid. Let's scout him. I'm sure he's pretty good. 4.65, 8+ hands, and he's big. That's what I need. I need some size there who can block for me as well. Let's just go ahead and put his name down. Between him and the guy we picked up in the regular season, it would be an awesome pickup for both of those. That'd be a really good tight end class. Here's a 3-star kid, 6'2", 237. That's a little too small for me. Out of Halls. That's so local. That's really close to where I live. B+ hands. I'll put the name down just in case. Thankfully, this isn't the biggest area of need. But I'm a sucker for these little local kids. There's another 3-star kid out of Alabama. I'm just going to move on. Again, we got plenty of bodies. Tackle. Got to find, like, here's a 5-star kid, 6'6", 321 out of Ohio. 705 on the squat. and over 3. I mean, he's humongous. He's ideal. He's a sophomore, and that's only the little downside to him. We're not going to have him for as long, but he just looks the part. Definitely put that name down. Here is some 4 stars. A kid out of Pennsylvania, Missouri. 6'5", 288. He's really strong, possibly. Let me look at this kid. 6'9", 332. But he's not very strong, but he's huge. Absolutely huge. I'll go ahead and put the name down just because he's so massive. He's just not very strong. So I don't know if he can make up for that. Look, all these other 4-star. That's not actually a big name. We've got to go to guard. See, look, all these guards. We've already scouted. I thought we scouted some of these. Maybe we didn't. Let me go and... Did I just forget to scout these? Maybe I did. Let's go find some big dudes. Let me actually go back to interested prospects. Let me go to guard. It's easier if I go through this way first. Just mentally for me, it is. So I didn't scout any of these guys. Did I not really? My bad. I should have done some of that in week 1. So let me go find the big guys. Here's a kid out of Tennessee. 705 on the squat, over 300 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. Out of 6'4", 327, 705. Anything 700 and above, it's worth it. I like that kid. Kid out of Texas, 324, Crossville, Tennessee. I'll go ahead and just put how many scholarships? I got 7 left. We got plenty. I'll go ahead and put one on him. Look at all these other 4 stars. Plenty of them want to come here because we run the ball well. Kid out of Louisiana, let me scout him. 705. I mean, gosh. I'm going to go ahead and just put one on him, and I think we're going to stop there. We got another 4-star out of Kansas. I'm not worried about that. And he's small. So now I can go back to all prospects. Let me just check like these 5-star guards just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Like this kid right here, we're definitely going to look at. Here's a 4-star out of Texas. He's not very big, though. I need some weight. 311, 283. This kid right here, possibly out of Idaho. Texas, 6'5", 340. Has he got any strength to him at all? Oh, wait, man, that's like the best one of the bunch. He's huge, and he's super strong. Let's go ahead and put that name down. Mark Jones. And I need to put down the other guy. Was he up here? And I'm going to stop with guard. Is this one right here? We're not on his... No, we were already on his list. Okay, I'll just stop there for now because we got other positions to look at. Center, we're good there. Like, here's a 5-star kid that's interested, but we already got a 5-star coming in. Defensive end, let's see. 6'4", 237, that's a no. 235 is a no. 6'6", 250, maybe. But he's just not strong at all. I'm going to back off of that one. Here's a 3-star, 6'2", 256 out of New Mexico. 605, that's kind of doable. Kind of. I'll put the name down just in case. Defensive end, Zach Merriman. Is he related to Sean Merriman? Let's go. Keep on going. Here's a kid out of Texas. 6'5", 255. Here's 6'1", 270. 535. No, he's not strong at all. This guy's probably not. How many points I got? I got 99. I'm good. It's 555. I'm just not really feeling it there. I think we're going to back off that. How many am I going after at the moment? I'm going after 2. I already got 5 on the roster. So that's one positive. At least we got some bodies there. Now, defensive tackle. Let's see here. 6'2", 307, a JUCO out of Texas. I think he's really want to go to LSU. I need somebody who is humongous. 266, 274, 289, 265, 270, 297. As you can tell, it's just kind of hard to find some of these humongous defensive tackles. 285. At least some of these guys can maybe play defensive end. But speaking of that, I actually got to go back. Let's go to athlete real quick. So I completely forgot. Was there anybody that was just really big, like the one we're going after, that I just missed? I don't think so. I know these are all guys who are already liking us. I'm not even down to the 2-star. If that's what it takes to find a 350 pounder, then so be it. Looks like none of these guys were interested. Let's see. 6'6", 270. That's kind of close, but not close enough. All right, I just wanted to make sure. So back to defensive tackle. I think I'm okay here. I'm not going after any of them. I kind of need to, though. I just need somebody who's super strong. 6'20", 665. I mean, this guy could... I know he's a 5-star kid, but he's more of a 4-3 guy. And I need speed at defensive end a little bit, too. I'm just not seeing it. Like, this kid is probably the best that we can find. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. And just in terms of size. So I think we're fine there. All right. Outside linebacker. We've already gone after... We're not going after any of them right now. All right. Let me go back to interested targets. Let me just make sure. I just not like what I saw. I know... Did I not scout any of them? Is this like another position I just forgot? It must have. Gosh, that was terrible on my part. I guess I was just running out of points. Let me see here. So normally what I need is, let me just go ahead and scout him. Just all the 4-star guys. Let's just do that for now. Speed and some size. Look at this kid, 4'8", about 252 pounds. And that's just a massive individual for that position. Let's just go ahead and do that one. Let me look at these other ones. Because you got to make up for some weight somewhere because you're only going 3 down linemen a lot of the time. But somebody who's super smart would be really nice. None of these guys look the part. This guy maybe out of Maryland, Stephen Bennett. But it looks like he really wants to go to Penn State. 4'8", kid out of Georgia, 3-star kid. He may be the one I go after. Let's just go after him. So those would be the 2 outside linebackers we go after. Middle linebacker, I thought we've already scouted these, and we have. None of these guys look that we can play at defensive end. Like even somebody like this, possibly, and his squad is amazing. But it's a good problem to have if you can find guys like this. I'm going to go ahead and I just like what I'm seeing out of this kid. Let's just go ahead and do that one. Let me go back to the very top. Smarts and strength. 690 A+ on this kid out of Alaska. I actually wanted to go after him just because he is from Alaska, to be honest. But he just kind of fits what I'm looking for, even though he's a little small. 6'1", 237. These other guys we just did not scout, did we? I'm going to go after one more. This kid out of North Carolina, probably. He's A+. I think he fits the need. And I'm out of scholarships, apparently. That's okay. So let's go back to all prospects, and let me just do the rest of my week 2 thing. So that's what we're going to do. So these guys right here, I know I just got to scout these. Let me go ahead and put his name down. Middle linebacker, Jerry Benson. Next up, middle linebacker, Jermaine Miller. Maybe help if I scout him first. There we go. Scout this guy. Then we got middle linebacker, Kyle Kennedy out of California. Anybody else? All these guys we were already interested in me. That may be it. We're already down to the 3-star kids. Here's a 3-star kid of Louisiana. We can... okay, I'm actually done with that. That's fine. We've already scattered enough, and I think we already got 2 that are on scholarship. Corner, I can check here. Just, is there anybody that's not in their top 5 that just really look the part? 6'5" kid out of Pennsylvania. Just don't know if he can... See, this isn't a big area of need, so I'm not too worried about this, and neither is free safety, kicker, strong safety. It just isn't. It's just not important. We got 31 points to spend. I think we're good at all these spots. Just athlete, I think we're fine. Let me just go back to current targets. I think I'm going to spend the rest of my points here and dump them where they need to go. Like right here, put 30 on that dude. Let me go find those other positive pitches. We had a few, like maybe 3 total. I just got to go find them. Okay, just want to make sure I had a scholarship on that guy. I know they're here somewhere. At least I thought we had a couple more. There we go. Here's another one. We're going to do 30 on the wide receiver. We're down to 3 points. Probably not going to be able to spend that anywhere else. Yeah, we're down everywhere else. So let's go back up to the very top. And let's just put it on somebody like 4 for this one. And let's go find a Tennessee kid like this guard. We'll do 2 for there. So now we're down to 0 points for the week. All right, that was a very productive week. Let's see if we can pick up any commitments. Very nice haul for week 2. Defensive end, Jermaine Washington. He fits the part. I wish he was just a little bit heavier, but he's just super strong, 5-star kid. I think that's just an awesome pickup for us. I can go down and put a 1 right there. Tackle, Matt Lewis, 6'8", 315 out of Pal. I really liked what I saw there, especially his strength. His squat's incredible. So I'm really excited about that. So I can mark tackle off. That's good. Wide receiver, Ricky Fisher, good pickup there. Speedster, can really catch. I mean, that guy just looks like a Randy Moss type. Let's go ahead and I'm going to change that to a 2. Next up, we got outside linebacker, Russell McNair. Not bad. The kid, that's the 3-star kid, if I'm not mistaken, and it is. I'm going to go just put a 1 right here. He'll probably start in a couple of 3 years. I know he's got a couple of really good dudes ahead of him, but I'm excited to have him on the list. I wouldn't mind finding 1 more, though. Let's go to current targets. Let's take out the guys who committed elsewhere, if any. Here we got 1. Wide receiver, Isaac Berry. So got to be mindful of that as we go find a couple more receivers. Like, are we going after any more? I think 1 of them. Nope. We got to go after some receivers, apparently. We got 1 right here. Another 3-star kid. So let's go back to the very top, though. So we're kind of good at tackle, but we got a positive pitch on this kid. I got to take him. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of got to. Let me back out. 720 on the squat. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just do what we got to do here for him. Halfback, Julius Gray. There we go. This is the kid that can go between the tackles. Let's just go put a scholarship on, or put points on him. Guard, we just got to figure out what he's into. Let's go coach prestige. Guard, they're nice. We're going to do 15 for him. Then we got another guard. We'll do coach prestige. Middle linebacker, Aaron Considine. I hope I said that correctly. He's a forced, I don't know what he's into. Let's do coach style, maybe? Could be anything. Outside linebacker, we'll just do coach prestige. Middle linebacker, Leon Brooks. I'm going to do coach style. If he was a 3-star, I probably would have went location. Corner, Nick Pruitt. I'll do coach style for now. Another 4-star kid, CJ Rhodes. We need a, there we go. Positive pitch on the quarterback. Would love to have you be our starter for us one day. Here's a guard. Looks like he really wants to go to Texas Tech. However, we got a positive pitch. So it looks like we got a chance to get some good guards. Defensive tackle. There we go. Positive pitch. Athlete, Sheldon Roberts. I need you, buddy. What do you need? Just let me know what you want. I'm going to do location for you. We'll just do coach style. I don't know. We got to figure it out, though. Wide receiver. Yes. We'll take him. Awesome. Defensive end, we got to figure out what he's into. 3-star, we're going to do location for him. Do the bare minimum for now. And that is it. So wide receiver was an issue. So let's go back to instant prospects. I'm going to go back to wide receiver first. Let's go find an A+ guy like this kid right here. Let's just go through. Was there anybody that got a positive pitch just by scouting them? This kid right here. Lance Quinn. But he's got C+, he's got B+ hands. He's really fast. We need help here, though. I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. How many scholarships I got left? I'm down to 0 scholarships. I'm going to take it off of him. We need help here, though. Gosh, we're running out of... We just don't have enough space. I'm going to withdraw the offer for now. What other area? We got some week 2 guys we got to look at. Like here's this Grant kid. He was a week 2 guy. We just don't know what he's into. But 441 A+, super smart. I mean, just everything just looks the part there. He looks better than what we got, that other 3-star kid. Let me just do, I'm going to put the scholarship on him. We need help there in the worst way. So we're out of points, or we're out of scholarships. I can't do anything else. We're out of scholarships. There's not much else I can do until some other guys commit elsewhere or something. So we're kind of done here. So I got 64 points to spend. Let's go to current targets. Let's max out any positive pitch guy I had. We'll do that. We got several this time. We've maxed him out. Let's see. There should be some down here. Here's another one. We've maxed him out. The quarterback. Let's max this guy out. We're going to max this guy out. The defensive tackle. We're going to max this guy. We can't. We're down to 8 points. So we can't do that. We've got anybody else that could max out? I don't think so. So let's go back up to the very top, and we'll just put that on a wide receiver probably. Like this Michigan kid. I wouldn't mind doing that. We'll do 8 there. So now we got 2 points to spend somewhere. We need help. Where do we need help at the most? We're good. That other halfback would be nice to have. Guard. Guard's kind of important. We haven't got a commitment from one of them yet. I'm going to do 2 there. So now we're down to 1 point. Let's go find a Tennessee kid with no positive pitch. And that's where we'll put it. Do we have one? I know this kid's already got the positive pitch. And I think that's it. I can't put that 1 point anywhere. That's not a big deal. All right. That was really quick. We'll see what happens with some of these scholarships to open up some other ones for the next week. Another great haul. Halfback. This is the kid that can go between the tackles. So we are good at halfback. We picked up, what, 3 5-star kids? Nice. We picked up a tackle. That's good. So we got 2 tackles coming in. We got a guard. That's excellent. I wouldn't mind finding about 1 more at least. And then wide receiver John Stevenson. Great. So now I'd like to get 1 more wide receiver. So that was a great pickup haul right there. All offensive guys. So let's go to current targets. Let's see who's committed elsewhere, if any. Outside linebacker. Gone. Corner is gone. Defensive tackle, gone. Anybody else? That is it. So how many defensive players do we got committed? We got 1, 2. We got 2 total. Like, where are all the defensive guys committed? We got a bunch listed here. We got some middle linebackers and such. Maybe that athlete, obviously, in the defensive end. Let's go back to the very top. So we should have some scholarships left over. We got 3 the spare. I really want this kid. We need guard help in the worst way. Let me do playing time, or let me do like coaching style for him. Will Callahan, we just don't know what he's into. Let's do coach style. Wide receiver, this would be the other one I'd like to have. We just don't know what he's into yet. Definitely looks the part. Middle linebacker, I'm going to do location maybe, or playing time. At this point, we're just kind of guessing. This kid, at least we know what he likes. Quarterback, we know what he's into. Guard, yes. Athlete, I don't know. Let's go location for him. Defensive end, we just got to figure that out. So let's do coach style. We got plenty of bodies. I can't imagine it'd be playing time. So I know we need some help. We got the 1 receiver we're going after. I think there was like another tight end I may have wanted, but we need help elsewhere. Guard, we're going after plenty of guards still. Defensive end, I got 1 there. A defensive tackle, that's that athlete. Outside linebacker was one we probably needed to go get. And a corner. So an outside linebacker and a corner. So let's go to instant prospects. Let's go find an outside linebacker. The one that just fits what I'm looking for. Somebody just fast and smart, 4'6". And I didn't scout hardly any of these guys, but let me go see. Do we got a positive pitch on any of these out of the gate? We do not. I think we got a good chance with this kid out of South Carolina. He's a pipeline. Let me just go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. I want to use those points elsewhere. Cornerback. Did we find anybody? Like, we only scattered just a couple of these guys, didn't we? This kid out of Tennessee. There was another one down here, wasn't it? I thought there was another one. Maybe he committed elsewhere. Looks like he did. I'm going to go ahead and go after him. If he was just a little taller, that'd be ideal, but that's okay. Tennessee kid, I'm good with it. So we got 1 spot to fill. So who do you go after? I'm going to go back to all. We're good at halfback. I think we're going to have some guards to commit. We already got the tackle thing settled. Here's a defensive tackle at Wisconsin. Positive pitch. I probably need to get... This guy could be either defensive end or defensive tackle, so I probably need to get somebody like that. I'm already going after a couple middle linebackers, so we're just kind of good here. I'm just going after looking at the best players possible. It may be that defensive tackle. Here's a couple middle linebackers. Here's an athlete out of Texas. No positive pitch. So we had a positive pitch on the defensive tackle. I think I'm going to put that on him. We'll find a place for him somewhere. Trust me. Let's go ahead and let's just go. Yeah, coach prestige or program prestige, obviously. Let's just max him out right there. So now we're down to 0 scholarships. Let's go back to current targets. Let's max these guys out. So it goes by pretty quickly. The further you go on into this, you're just kind of just moving points around so you can max them out as best you can. Like I'm going to do 30 for this kid. And I'm done scouting everywhere. We're going to do 30 for the guard. At least I'm filling needs in terms of the spots. We need them to commit, of course. Let's go back to the very top. I'm going to do a couple of these middle linebackers. I kind of want one of these guys to, like, I'm going to do like 12 here. We got the positive pitch there. Guard, this defensive tackle. If we maxed him out, we have. I may just do 15 for the local kid. We've already done the outside linebacker. Let's go. We're down to 1 point. It's got to be a Tennessee kid that's not got a positive pitch. Like cornerback Brian Lawrence. There we go. Now we're down to 0 points. Again, that's just really quick. Doesn't take too long. So now we're moving on to our final week of recruiting. Let's get at it. Yes, this is a really good haul, even better than what we've seen. So defensive tackle, Anthony Wheeler, kid out of Wisconsin. I think he was a top defensive tackle coming out. Really good pickup. He could either play in the middle or he could play at end. We'll just see. I need to write these down. Let me defensive tackle. So we're going to break this down. We're good. I'm going to just put a 1 right there for now. Middle linebacker. We picked up 2 middle linebackers. I need a 3. Do we have any more middle linebackers down here? Just want to make sure. So I'm going to put down a 1. So middle linebacker Leon Brooks out of Oklahoma, 6'8", 244. I mean, just a mammoth. Him and Gary Lowe, can you imagine them right beside each other? Insane. We pick up 2 guards, Will Callahan, humongous individual, and Sean Clark. So I'm good with guard. Wide receiver, Jason Grant. That's the kid out of Michigan, kind of late. So we are good at wide receiver. We got 3 there. And there's the quarterback, C.J. Rhodes. I hope this kid becomes a starter one day. Can you imagine? I don't remember the last Tennessee quarterback that came from Tennessee that was just awesome. Like Andy Kelly, maybe. That was from back late 80s. I mean, we're talking many, many years ago. Would love to see this guy be the next Andy Kelly. Would be really cool. So we're good at there. So I'm almost done. I mean, I just got like one or few, just to look at on just a few different positions. Like we're already good at guard. This kid, I'm actually going to withdraw the offer. Let me back out really quick. So guard, we got 6 committed or 6 on the roster. He's a 5-star kid out of East Ridge. We just don't know what he's into. I'm going to go ahead and just stay at him. Let's just do like a location for him, I guess, just because he's a 5-star. Cornerback, Brian Lawrence. There we go. He's maybe the one corner we're going after. Outside linebacker, I wouldn't mind finding another one here. Yes, I got one more I want to go after. We'll just go, I don't know. We'll just go coach style for him. I'll do like 8 for now. Defensive end, we can't have too many of these guys. I'm going to go 16 there. And then that is it. Is there anybody else I could go after that's worth it? Like I may go after an athlete. I wish we could get that athlete. Oh, I forgot. Let's go back down here. There he is. Dang it, he went to Texas Tech. I thought I was forgetting somebody. Completely forgot. Dang it. I went after him as hard as I could. I mean, I just couldn't figure out what he was into. Oh, that's a shame. So was that the only one? I think that was the only one that committed elsewhere. So, I mean, we picked up some defensive tackles, but that was the one I was really kind of wanting. It's quite possible he could have just been an offensive lineman. Let's go to interested prospects. And let's go find an athlete and just take a chance on somebody, one of these guys. How many scholarships I got left? I got 1 scholarship. Let's go after one of these 3 guys. A Texas kid, 4.33. He's probably a halfback if I had to guess. 4.52. Kid out of Arkansas. Linebacker, maybe. And kid out of Ohio, 6'8", 276. He could be a pretty good defensive end. He kind of looks the part. Anybody else I've already put a, like, here's a, look at this, 4.16. Can this guy really fly? 4.2, A+ hands. I'm going to go at, I'm out of points. I'm out of points. Oh, ow. I can't back out of that. Dang it. Actually, wait a minute. I can. Let me go back. Let me go to current targets. We're going to do 8 there. There we go. So let's go back. Let's go to this little athlete, this little jitterbug, 5'5", 163 kid, Steve Richard. Let's do 4 for him, and we'll do Coach Prestige. Let's do that. So now we're down to 3 points. And I'm out of scholarships, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no more scholarships. Let's just go back to current targets and find those 3 points, put them somewhere if we can. We can't there. We can't there. We can't there. We can't there. Almost could there, but we can't. That's the kid we just went after. So we're down to, we got 3 points. We just can't put him anywhere. That's no big deal at all. I think we are done recruiting. All right, let's wrap things up. Wrapping things up with our recruiting class, 5-star guard. So we are loaded at guard. Tennessee kid, excited about that. The one corner, I needed one. He's the one we're going after, apparently, and he's the one we got. Tennessee kid, excited to have him. And defensive tackle, Brady Wade. Again, we're just loading up at defensive end. Sorry, defensive end. He's big. That's what we needed at that spot. So it looks like we won't have to move too many guys around, which will be nice. That means defensive tackles can kind of stay there. We'll just see what happens with that when we get the position changes and such. So let's go check out our top classes. I want to see that first before we look at our signings. So the number 1 class in the country. Awesome. Been a long time since I've done this. But there you go. 23 total commits, 8 5-star commitments, 11 4-star, and 4 3-star kids. And you got LSU, Cal, Texas, Purdue, Michigan State, A&M, Iowa, Penn State, Ohio State, Oklahoma State. Where are the rest of these SEC schools at? I'm not seeing them. Where are they at? Is it going to be just us and LSU just taking over? There's Arkansas. At least they made an appearance. Anybody else? There's Mississippi State. Where's like Florida? There's Alabama, there's Florida. They just didn't have big classes. I guess that's what it was. Florida picked up a 5-star kid, tight end. There's that tight end that we was looking at. Went elsewhere. So keep that name in mind, Adam Raymond. I think that was a week 2 kid that I just didn't have any points for. But we're good at tight ends. So I'm not too worried about that. But either way, amazing call. Can't do any better than number 1. Let's go look at these guys. So all these 5-star kids, that's really cool. We go to quarterback. A surprise. I was not expecting to get one, but he's an in-state kid with a killer arm. I'm actually going to go ahead and just put let me go ahead and get a thumbnail on that guy. A+ strength and accuracy. I mean, you can't do any better than that for this type of offense. Really cool. 3 5-star guys. John Daniels, the in-season kid. Julius Gray, and then Pedro Daniels. That's an all-name team right there. Really cool to get those 3. Can't do any better than that at that position. We got 4 wide receivers. I forgot about the kid in the regular season, too, so at least we loaded up here. Really excited about Jason Grant, kid out of Michigan. Good hands. Chris Myrick was the kid out of the in-season. Ricky Fisher, he may be the best of the bunch. Then we got John Stevenson, speedster, really tall. Looks like a basketball player. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and let's just go ahead and get one of these. Let's go ahead and get this guy. I just need one for a thumbnail. I'll pick one later. All right, let's go and look at some more. Tight end. This is the kid out of the end season. Tony Hamilton. Good pickup there. Couple tackles. It wasn't the biggest need, but you can always have more depth. You can't have too much of it. Donnie Grigsby out of Maryland, and then Matt Lewis, out of local kid, out of Powell. Then you got 4 guards, a 5-star and some 4-stars to go with it. All of them are really big. You look at some of their strength, like especially their squat, 705, 670, 705, and 705. Nice. Center, the kid out of in-state, or from the in-state section, Roderick Easley. A little bit undersized, but I think we're going to be fine there. Defensive end, Jermaine Washington. He's a natural defensive end. This guy will be too. Brady Wade. Good pickups there. The number 1 defensive tackle in the country, apparently, Anthony Wheeler. He'll probably stay there. That was the only little downside. I couldn't find a humongous guy to play up the middle, but this guy may do it just well enough. We'll see. Outside linebacker, I needed a couple. Only got one, but we got starters there coming back, so this guy will be redshirting. Russell McNair, a 3-star kid out of Georgia. Looking at him, I think decent speed, pretty smart to go with it. Middle linebacker, we picked up 2. I wanted 3, but we only got 2, so this could be a big area of need for us next season. Aaron Considine, I hope I said that correctly, out of Alaska. I just now realized that's the Alaska kid. Then this massive dude, Leon Brooks, 6'8", 244. Out of Oklahoma, Skyatatuk. I hope I said that correctly. Cornerback, Brian Lawrence, the local kid. Excited to have him. And I think that was it. Awesome. So let's back out. We're going to finalize recruiting, and then we're going to head into position changes. Now we got So this is going to be a problem. I ended up recruiting way more dudes than I needed. I didn't think about that, but that's fine. We'll figure that out here in a minute. So quarterback, let me look here. CJ Rhodes, look at that. 80 overall, true freshman. Good pickup, Al. Really nice. So we are good at quarterback for a while. Look at the halfbacks. There's Pedro Daniels, 82 overall. John Daniels is an 80, and Julius Gray's an 80. All three will probably play. Just go ahead and just pencil that already. One of these guys will probably get cut, but we don't have to move anybody around unless one of these guys were big enough to play fullback. But again, we got bodies here, so we're good. Wide receiver, let's see. Jason Grant, this is the Michigan kid, 80 overall, nice. 76 overall, Ricky Fisher, nice. Chris Myrick, 74, good enough. Let's look at his catch rating with 76. All these guys. That Grant kid, look at that. That kid's 82, 85 on the catch. Wow, this kid's a stud. Awesome. I forgot to check to see. I think he was the top receiver, wasn't he? Or maybe he wasn't. I'll have to go back and check that later. John Stevenson's a 74. I should be looking at these a little bit later. Cutting wise, we may be cutting somebody like this senior. No offense to him. We'll figure that out. Tight end, we only got these three, but we should be fine here. There's that true freshman, Tony Hamilton. I think he's going to be fine in time. Tackles, I do need to think about lefty righty. So Josh Hale's still my starter at right. My left tackle, probably going to be Jack Brown still. He was our starter left last year. True freshman, Donnie Grigsby. That was a good pickup. I may put this guy at right. And he could be our starting right tackle after Chad Hale. So that'll be his backup down the road. Redshirt freshman behind him. I'm good with that. And I'm good with that. I think we're going to leave all that as 3 and 3 is perfect for that setup. Guard, a bunch of right guards and a lefty. We need to move these guys around a little bit. That's a right guard. Who's going to be my starter at left? It's going to be Sean Brown. He'll probably get the training over these two guys. I will probably just a bunch of, well, it doesn't really matter where you put these, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and put like a left here. And we'll do like a left here. Again, it's interchangeable. Center, this was the true freshman, 80 overall. Good pickup. Don't have to move anybody there. Defensive end. This will be interesting. Let me find my speedster. Let's see. I may put him, let's see. I need to put this guy at left. He could be my nickel left end. Jermaine Washington, true freshman. I'm going to put him at right end for now, if I can get over there to it. There we go. 85 overall. Was that a good pickup? I think it was. And he could still be a left end too. 6'4", 241. Actually, I'm going to he's going to be my starting left end. We'll just go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this guy at right. He's the smaller one of the bunch. I'm going to keep him at left. So that means I need a good right end. Senior Brad Golden. I'm going to probably put... All these guys got some speed to them. Stover was our starting right end last year. I'm going to keep him as such. I could put this guy... again, it doesn't really matter, per se. 1, 2, 3... I'm okay with it. Again, it doesn't really matter where you do those. Defensive tackle, this means I don't have to move anybody to left end. Our defensive end, we got too many of them to begin with. Defensive tackle, we don't have to move anybody. But this was a good pickup, 80 overall, Anthony Wheeler. Really nice. Outside linebacker, who's my lefty and my righty? So McNair, so Smith is going to be my starting right end, or right outside linebacker. That's obvious. My left end is going to be Gary Lowe. I know, I got to move him right there. These other guys, that's a freshman, and that is a sophomore. That's a senior. We will probably just leave that as is. Yeah, I think we're good with that. I think these guys are going to be my 2 starters. Unless Gaines. Oh, Gaines, I forgot. He's really slow. He's back. For some reason, I thought he was leaving. But he's super slow. Well, we can finally move him to defensive end. At least, let's go defensive end. I could put him at left end or something. But we need some help there, don't we? We got too many as is. Yeah, we got so many defensive ends, there's no point. Let's just go put him back. It doesn't really matter. We'll just put him at right. Back where he was. That's fine. I may need to move somebody else at right end just because he's so slow. Left end, right end. I may put this guy right, maybe. This is another interchangeable, doesn't really matter. Middle linebacker, we got 4 of them. We're all good here. Looks like we picked up some good dudes. Corner, we don't have to move anybody. We're good there. Free safety, don't really need to move anybody. If I had to move anybody here, it'd probably be like Jeff Cowan, but he can't. It's such a big dip once you move him somewhere else. He may be, I don't know. We'll just see what happens there, but we just don't have to move any of them. We already got a bunch of dudes red shirt. I'm surprised none of these guys wanted to leave. Kicker were good. Punter were good. So we didn't have any athletes that picked up in the recruiting. So I think we're ready to move on to training. We put essentially half of our points in the training. And looks like a bunch of 4s and a 6. That's really nice. Brown went up 6. That's excellent. But let's go to each position. I'm just going to overall look at the quarterbacks. Everybody went up 2 and 4. I'm guessing Keys will probably be our starter next year. He played well enough. There were some games he didn't play well, but the other games I thought he done very well. So he's still going to be our starter. Halfback, these two guys, somebody's going to get cut. Fullback, not many people went up there. Not much went up at wide receiver. Tight end, Allen. He's going to be our day one starter, I think. Our number one guy. He reminds me of Jason Witten. Just a big, broad dude, not the fastest. Jason Witten was much faster in 68, but we'll see what happens there. Left tackle, that looked pretty good. 6 and 4, 2 for a left guard. Our centers went up pretty well. Jackson, again, probably our day one starter. Guard, not much. Right tackle, not bad. Hale went up a couple. Left end, 3s and 4s, a 3 there. Defense tackles, 2 and 3. We're starting to get some really good talent there. Outside linebacker, a couple for Gary Lowe. Middle linebacker, 4 for Mitchell. I don't know who our 2 middle linebackers starters are going to be. We'll find out. We'll figure that out in the next video. Right outside linebacker, there's Franklin Smith. Went up 4. Excellent. He's going to be starting for us. And we got a good backup behind him. We're just a good situation right now with a lot of these positions. We're building depth. That's the whole point. Corners, 2s, 3s, and 4s. That's good. Free safeties, 2s and 4s. Green's going to be our starter just because we need that speed back there. And he's got better awareness of the bunch. Strong safety, 3s and 4s with a 2. Dargan went up 3. Again, we'll figure all that out in the next video. Our kicker went up 2, and our punter went up 4. Good for him. All right, that was pretty simple. We're going to move on to cutting players. We have 8 guys to cut. This is going to be interesting. I probably need to cut some young guys on top of some older ones. It's just wherever we need to cut. We got 5 quarterbacks. All of them look like they can handle it. I mean, 80 overall redshirt freshman's excellent. Same here. True freshman, 80 overall. I can't cut him. This junior, Brigham, I got to keep him just because we got to use that speed, and he decided not to transfer out. So I'm going to keep him too. So we're not cutting anybody at quarterback. Halfback, we got 5 guys. We're going to cut one of these. I will probably cut... These both look exactly the same. And we already got freshmen lined up here. 5'8", 172, 6'2", 215. I'm going to cut this kid right here. Again, we kind of need to cut some underclassmen as well, so I'm going to go ahead and cut him. So that's 4. That's good. Fullback, I can almost cut somebody here, but we got 2 juniors and a senior. There's no point. Wide receiver, this kid right here is just not going to cut it. And he's a senior, which is fine. He's just too slow and is not very talented, and his catch isn't very good, so we're going to cut him. Now we're not cutting any of those guys. Tackle, we got plenty of bodies. I could probably cut this Frank Bates. Guard, we're going to cut this redshirt freshman. I don't think he's going to cut it compared to these other guys. Let's cut him. Center, we probably need to cut somebody. No reason to cut the senior because he'll be gone in a year anyways. This guy, I don't think he'll ever see the field. So let's cut him. That way we can recruit a freshman behind these 2 guys. That way we'll have a good natural progression. We got a freshman that's going to be a sophomore. This guy's going to be a junior. Then we can pick up a freshman, and that'll be a good line of work there. Defensive end, I'm not ready to cut any of those guys just yet. Defensive tackle, we don't need that many, but I'm going to keep going. They're all in the 80s. These guys are all in the 80s. We got to keep all of them. We need bodies at middle linebacker. We may cut this corner. Just a 72 overall. His awareness isn't very good. We don't need that many corners. Free safety, we can cut some dudes. Probably this free safety. Babatunde Stewart. Awesome name, but you don't fit what I'm looking for. I'm going to cut you there. We're going to cut at least one strong safety. Probably this kid right here, 6'3", 221. He's just not, this guy's not fast enough either. Which one's the Tennessee kid? Is there any? Here's a Tennessee kid. Here's an Alabama kid. If I cut the Alabama kid, will that hurt our pipeline? I don't know. Either way, I don't think it's going to matter which one we cut. I'm going to cut this kid right here. That's fine. That still gives us plenty of bodies. And now we're down to exactly where we need to be. There we go. 70. So that worked out. We got 70. So now we're going to move on to our last phase. We're going to look at our final roster. Here is our final roster. We have one guy in the 90s. Strong safety, Alan Darkin. He appears to be an impact player. That's interesting. Defensive end, Isaac Peterson, a senior. So we got some senior. We got senior. Just a bunch of seniors that are leading all this. A lot of them look to be defensive linemen or defensive players in general. The biggest thing I want to look at is jersey numbers at this point. We'll just kind of look at each position as a whole. So quarterback, Keys is an impact guy. I kind of figured that was going to happen. Either way, let's go look at this freshman. Number 18, CJ Rhodes. I'm going to let him keep that number. I think that's a good number for him. We'll go with that. Let's go to halfback. So some of these guys, I think all three of these guys need really special numbers, like high-end numbers. So since these are all five-star kids, I'm going to make sure that they have a chance to get something better. So Pedro Daniels, 42. Can I move him to something a little bit better? Let's give him 6. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Okay. This kid right here, number 45, Julius Gray. Let's give him something a little bit better. No offense to number 45. 45. Let's give him 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. Big number 1. Now let's go to John Daniels, 27, which is actually a really good number for halfbacks. 27, that's what? Was 5 available? Let's just give him 7. How about that? So then we got a couple receivers that need decent numbers too. Fullback, don't have to worry about it. So wide receiver. So Jason Grant is 82. Ricky Fisher. I think these two guys right here need better numbers. So 82. We're not going to give anybody 16. I thought there was somebody. Actually, let me go back. There was somebody. I think we had a corner. No, we got rid of him, didn't we? This kid right here, Brian Lawrence. True freshman Brian Lawrence. He doesn't need number 8. I'm going to give him something different. Let's give him like 25. 76 is good, but somebody needs a better number than that. Let me just go here. So Davidson, that was the one freshman. I'm going to keep him 25. We'll work our way backwards just to make sure nobody's got anything really good. Gary Lowe's got that one. Defensive tackles. Let me just make sure. Defensive end. They're all higher numbers, which I can move a little bit later. Tight end. There's our freshman, Tony Hamilton. So Grant, I'm going to give him 8 because I think he originally was like 82. I want to give him 8. Fisher is 83. I think we're going to give him 3. 3 was available. It was 8. Let's give him 13. I think that's a good one. Actually, yeah, let's just stick with 13. So 13 for Ricky Fisher. These other guys, I'm perfectly fine with their numbers. Tight end, again, Hamilton, he can keep 80. That's fine. Tackles, I'm not worried about their numbers, but you can see where they all got there. Same with the guards. They can be whatever they want to be. Same with center. Defensive end, I think this kid right here, Jermaine Washington, needs something better than 59. 85 overall. It's just ridiculous. You can't do any better for a freshman. Let's give him something better. 59. Let's give him 3. He just needs something special. I don't think there was anything else I could have given him anyways. That could have been any better. I just want to make sure. Yeah, so what defensive tackle? That kid's an 80 overall, 90. I don't mind him sticking with 90. Outside linebacker. This kid's an 82. Russell McNair. That's actually a really cool number for an outside linebacker. I'm going to let him keep that. Middle linebacker, we picked up these two guys. They can keep those numbers. And corner, we just picked up that guy, Brian Lawrence. I think we're good on the jersey number front. I like what I'm seeing here. So that is it for our freshmen. Number 6, 1, and 7. Anybody that's like 80 and above as a freshman, you get something special. I'm all for that. So that right there, Grant. And I think this Fisher kid, even though he's a 76 overall, I think he's going to be really special for us. Like, I think he could be really good. And he looks to be like our second fastest receiver on top of that. And there's Stevenson. I'm going to let him have 81, though. Either way, I'm really excited about what we got here. We got a bunch of bodies. That's good. We're getting better. We just need more top-end players, and that's just going to take a couple more years for some of these freshmen and sophomore that we've been recruiting to get a little bit better. But either way, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. So the next video, we're going to do some more recruiting, redshirting, scheduling, and get ready for Season 2. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.